It was a bright morning, the sun casting long shadows on the sidewalk. 11-year-old Jaycee Dugard, her pink backpack slung over her shoulder, skipped towards her school bus stop. Her stepfather, Carl, watched from the driveway, a familiar sense of peace settling over him as he saw her safely on her way. But the peace was shattered in an instant. A gray car screeched to a halt beside Jaycee. A man and a woman lunged from the vehicle, their movements swift and brutal. Before Jaycee could react, she felt a sharp jolt, a searing pain, and then darkness. Carl, witnessing the horrific scene unfold, raced towards the car, but it was too late. Jaycee's abduction sent shockwaves through the quiet town of Myers, California. Missing posters with her sweet, innocent face plastered every telephone pole and storefront. The world as Jaycee knew it ceased to exist. She was imprisoned in a soundproof shed behind the Garridos' home in Antioch, California, a world away from the familiar comforts of her childhood. The shed, reeking of mildew and despair, became her prison, her sanctuary, and her tormentor. Days bled into nights, marked only by the rising and setting of the sun, which she could only glimpse through a crack in the wall. Philip Garrido, her captor, became the puppet master of her existence. He controlled her every move, her every thought, her every breath. He repeatedly raped and abused her, his actions a cruel violation of her innocence. Nancy Garrido, Philip's wife and accomplice, was a chilling enigma. At times, she displayed a twisted sense of maternal care, providing Jaycee with food and clothing. At other times, she was cold and callous, her words like venom, reinforcing Jaycee's feelings of worthlessness and despair. Trapped in a web of manipulation and fear, Jaycee learned to adapt, to survive. As Jaycee endured the horrors of her captivity, her body became a battleground, a vessel for her captor's depravity. She became pregnant, her young body ill-equipped to handle the physical and emotional toll. At the age of 14, she gave birth to her first daughter, alone and terrified in the confines of the shed. The arrival of her daughter, a beacon of light in the darkness, ignited a fierce protectiveness within Jaycee. She vowed to shield her child from the horrors of their reality, to create a semblance of normalcy in their abnormal world. She poured all her love, all her strength into her daughter, finding purpose and meaning in motherhood. 2 years later, Jaycee gave birth to another daughter, her family growing amidst their captivity. The girls, innocent and unaware of the true nature of their existence, became Jaycee's world. She taught them to read, to write, to play, creating a world of imagination and wonder within the confines of their prison. They were her reason to hope, her reason to fight, her reason to survive. As the years turned into a blur of captivity, a glimmer of hope emerged from an unexpected source. Philip Garrido, driven by his delusional beliefs, began taking Jaycee and her daughters on outings, venturing beyond the confines of their prison. He forced Jaycee to adopt the persona of Alyssa, his daughter, a cruel charade that filled her with a mix of fear and cautious optimism. During these outings, Jaycee and her daughters interacted with the outside world, their movements always carefully orchestrated by Philip. They visited parks, attended events, even went to the grocery store. Each outing, though fraught with danger, provided Jaycee with a glimpse of the life that had been stolen from her. As Jaycee's daughters grew older, they too began to question their isolated existence. They yearned for friends, for school, for a life beyond the confines of their home. Their innocent questions, their longing for normalcy, fueled Jaycee's hope for a future where they could live freely. Fate, it seemed, had other plans. The encounter at UC Berkeley proved to be a turning point in Jaycee's long nightmare. The campus police officers, sensing something was wrong, questioned Philip Garrido and Alyssa. Their suspicions grew when they ran a background check on Garrido, revealing his status as a registered sex offender. Garrido, his facade crumbling, confessed to kidnapping Jaycee Dugard. The news of her discovery sent shockwaves across the nation. The little girl who had been abducted 18 years earlier, presumed lost forever, was alive. The world watched in amazement and disbelief as Jaycee, her 2 daughters by her side, emerged from the shadows. The reunion with her family was both joyous and heart-wrenching. 18 years of stolen moments, of missed birthdays and holidays could never be recovered. But the love, the bond that had endured through years of separation, was palpable. Life after captivity was a journey of healing, of rediscovering herself, of rebuilding her life. Jaycee embraced her freedom with a mixture of trepidation and exhilaration. She was reunited with her mother Terry and her half-sister Shayna, their bond unbreakable despite the years of separation. She faced the daunting task of reintegrating into a world that had moved on without her. Simple tasks, like driving a car or going to the grocery store, felt overwhelming at first. But with the unwavering support of her family and therapists, she began to navigate the complexities of her new life. Jaycee's story resonated with people around the world. She received an outpouring of support, letters pouring in from strangers who were touched by her resilience. She channeled her experiences into advocacy work, founding the Jaycee Foundation to support families in crisis and to raise awareness about child abduction and exploitation. Her words gave a voice to the voiceless, offering solace and inspiration to other survivors of trauma.